Hello everyone. Just a short video. I'd like to talk about health today. Um, Human beings are physical creatures. We're flesh and blood. We have bodies that we walk around in. These bodies are incredibly complex machines. And these machines, they need to be maintained by exercise and by diet. The food that we put into our bodies is so very important because we're literally making our bodies from the food that we put inside. If you put inside toxins, you're not going to get as healthy or as strong or as smart a body. Even your brain is part of your body. Without your brain, you can't have thoughts. So the healthier your brain is, the healthier your thoughts are, the stronger your thoughts are. So health is very important. The Nuer people historically have been a very healthy people. Think of what they ate. Oftentimes, the Nuer ate mostly boiled fish, sorghum, lots of vegetables, um, and uh, and so much so that the vegetables in the Nuer language are dewal. And dewal, translated in English, literally means seeds of medicine. So they realized that the vegetables were actually as medicine for the body. So that's why if you have an illness, sometimes in Nuer land, they will say, well, go and dig up such root, make it into a tea, and then you'll drink. So there was actually a Nuer medicine, medicinal knowledge and practice. Things such as tobacco and alcohol were not given to youth. In fact, it was frowned upon for a young person in their 20s, 30s, sometimes even in their early 40s to be using alcohol or tobacco. It's a reason for that. The reason is simple. The youth, those in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, were the ones that were expected to defend the land, expected to give birth, expected to look after children, expected to build houses, expected to speak for the nation and people in international affairs. So it was pivotal that their minds and their bodies be up in the highest peak of health. And then we realized that when somebody smoked a lot of tobacco, they just weren't able to run as far. Their endurance was generally not as good. When somebody drank a lot of alcohol, they noticed that people became addicted to alcohol. If they were drunkards, they couldn't speak well. They in the public discourse, they made too much noise and issues, and their ability to think was not as it needed to be. And so, naturally, and there was no law against it, but people frowned upon it quite a bit. And their reasoning was right. You can't have the people doing all these things have these health issues. What happened when we came into the diaspora? When we came into the West, we are now eating lots of processed foods. We eat far too much meat, far too little vegetables and herbs, and far too little plants, period. We don't have a plant-based diet much anymore. And because we don't have a plant-based diet, the nutrients that the body is supposed to get from plants and fruits and legumes, from vegetables, fruits, and legumes, it's simply not getting them. So because it's not getting them, we're unhealthier. Our skin doesn't glow as it used to, and we're not getting as much sunshine. So skin doesn't glow as much as it used to. We don't have as much vitamin D, which we can only get from the sunshine. Some of the polyphenols in vegetables and fruits and beans and so forth, we're not getting them as much. Instead, we've replaced them with far too much saturated fats, far too much meat. And a lot of the meat that we have nowadays, the way it's grown in North America, is not very healthy for us. This is something that the people who read up on this have realized. So that's why there's this movement of organic foods and people being vegan and so forth. It's an attempt to be healthier, and that's why the healthiest foods are often the most expensive foods now. So rich, intelligent, wise people have realized that the McDonald's every day doesn't work. So they're not feeding their kids KD all the time. They're not drinking pop so much. But in our community, we find that there's a lot of sugar consumption. There's a lot of meat consumption. This is why we're experiencing diabetes. This is why the levels of cancer have increased. This is why generally sometimes our children are more sickly because there's too much sugar. The sugar's bad for the immune system. So in order for us to get back to health, we've got to stop eating so much sugar. We've got to stop eating so much fat. We need to eat like the Nuer people ate back home. Boiled fish, vegetables, plenty of exercise. It's true we don't have to, teleport. We're not working in the field anymore. We're not taking care of cattle. But the exercise that we used to have, taking care of cattle and working in the field, we're going to have to replace it now by going to the gym. And what's wrong with going to the gym? If you're a young woman, you go to the gym, your body looks shapely and beautiful. You'll get more attention from guys. If you're a young man, you go to the gym, you get muscular, your body looks strong, handsome. You get more attention from women. Your mind is clearer. You don't get as upset at things. You won't desire to have as much bad food in your body, because the healthier you get, you start craving good things. You start socializing more. You start being generally a happier and more successful person. So, that said, I now want to talk about two things. There are two things that are more practices than foods that are also unhealthy for us. And before I talk about them, I want to say that I say these two things in the utmost love. I love you, my people. I care about you, and I hope that you care and love me. And I think that we should all care and love for one another, and we should give ourselves pointers, ways that we can become successful. If you know something that can help me, please tell me. If I know something that can help you, I will tell you. I am invested in your success, in your happiness, and in your health. You should be invested in my success, happiness, and health as well. We should all be invested in one another. That's what it means to be a nation. That's what it means to be an extended family. It means we care about one another. So, I don't mean to step on anybody's toes when I say this. I'm saying these things just as ways that we can help one another. So the first practice is bleaching. Our skin is a beautiful skin. It's smooth, it's rich, it's even toned throughout, and it's rich and beautiful and even toned and smooth precisely because it's black. What causes our skin to be black, makes it look black, is the compound, the pigment melanin. It's a human pigment. So every human being has it. If you have very little, you appear to have white skin. If you have a lot, you appear to have black skin. If you have somewhere in the middle, you might appear to have brown skin or yellowish tint skin or reddish tint skin. The fact is that everybody's brown. So what's the use of melanin? Melanin protects your skin against UV rays and also other electromagnetic rays such as microwaves. So it protects your skin because it causes them to bounce off. Now, why do we want them to bounce off? Because if too much of them enter into our system, it causes mutation in our cells, in our DNA, and that can cause cancers. You don't want cancers. Cancers, of course, cause death, like skin cancer, for instance. It can increase in your body until it can eventually kill a person, or they have to cut off whole parts of your skin. So first it begins, it looks unsightly, which is all right, but then it can be something worse. So we shouldn't hate our skins. But a lot of young women, which are most of the people who do the bleaching, they bleach their skins because they think that when they watch the music videos, everybody's light. It's the greatest thing to be white or light skin. It's even equated with beauty. And so all the young women not all of them, but a lot of young women bleach their skins to look whiter because they think by so doing it makes them beautiful. And we can't blame the young women alone. Oftentimes us men are the ones to blame because we started. We don't appreciate the beauty of our women, and then we go for light-skinned women. Or we go for women that are of a different race entirely, because we're thinking, well, their skin is light. So then you despise your sister and the beauty of the woman that gave birth to you. So in effect, you're really despising your own form. You don't like the color that you have. So then you go for another woman. That puts pressure on the young women to bleach their skin because thinking that's the only way they're going to get a man. Now as they've done it, look at the problems it causes. It causes skin cancer. So rates of skin cancer have increased in the Sudanese population in Africa. So in Cameroon, it's increased. In northern Sudan, it's increased. In Sudan, of course, it's going to increase. Levels of cancer are going to increase. It causes blotchiness of the skin. It causes unevenness of the complexion. And we don't know what other effects can be caused simply by those chemicals that are powerful enough to get the pigment out of your skin. What happens when they seep into your body? Nobody knows what effects they're having there. In fact, these bleaching creams, some countries have actually illegalized them. They've made them illegal because they've said that they're a public health issue. So bleaching is one of those things we should stop. We're beautiful as we are. In fact, our skin is something that people envy. Here's an example. Researchers at Yale University in the early 2000s discovered that they could make a synthetic melanin. That's right. They made a melanin cream that if you're somebody who's very light-skinned, if you're a white person or just somebody who wants to be darker, you can put this on your skin and it will actually make your skin darker. And then one of the things they say is that it makes your skin smoother and more even-toned as well. So scientists are worked hard to create a synthetic melanin. And it's a cosmetic product. And you have it naturally inside as well. One of the things that internal melanin does is that it acts as an antioxidant. An antioxidant is essentially what handles free radicals so that they don't run amok in your cellular system. Those free radicals are one of the things that causes us to grow older. So the more melanin you have, the more you're able to protect yourself from age. In fact, it's now a scientific fact that dark-skinned people, that black people tend to age. At least their skin does. But their body tends to age about 10 years more slowly than people who don't have as much melanin. So you've got this genetic gift, and it's because it's in your dark skin. Why not pass it on to your children? I think, moreover, now there seems to be this trend of white men going for black women. When they go for a Sudanese woman, when they go for a Nuer woman, you ever notice that white guys will choose the dark one? They don't go for girls that are light. They'll often go for the dark Nuer women. So if they're going for the dark Nuer women, and you as a Nuer guy, why are you running away from that thing that everybody seems to be running to? So, and if being black is so, and if you're a Nuer woman, notice that white women like black men, or liking Nuer men, precisely these dark guys. So if everybody's running towards it, why are you running away from it? If there's something valuable in it and you have it in your backyard, why not value what you have in your backyard? So we ought to recognize that and we should love our skin color. We should love ourselves. The next thing, and the last one that I'll mention in this video, affects mostly guys, but it's the issue of pornography and masturbation. Watching pornography and masturbating not only kills your time, but it also destroys your ambition, your drive to accomplish things, young men. It causes you to get a cheap thrill, to get a cheap pleasure, while just sitting at home. Because you don't have to go outside. You don't have to interact with young women. You don't have to actually work hard in order to accomplish something. You can just sit at home and go on the Google search engine and type in whatever you want, and then get the greatest pleasure that the body is able of generating just while doing nothing. This rewires your brain so that you become, over time, less success, less ambition oriented. But you want to accomplish things. You should work hard to accomplish things. But that's precisely what pornography takes away. The pornography industry is a sick industry. It's destroying young men. You're actually chemically rewiring your brain. So, for instance, watching pornography and masturbating is actually causing young men's minds to become more anxious when it comes to social interactions, and it increases depression. So I just want to say, in a short video, we should stop that. We should move away from that practice. And we should move towards being healthy, eating healthy. And let's love ourselves. Let's love who we are. Let's love how we look. Let's do everything to increase our health and our ambition. And let's trade information between one another so that we can be successful and move forward as a people. Thank you for hearing, and I hope that we can put some of these things in practice. Have a good day.